Hello everyone, and welcome back to Steins Gate. I'm G, and we are in a bit of a situation at the moment. And that situation is actually just before we failed to send the D-mail that would change Suzuha's past. And turns out, I did some reading up on the various endings in Steins Gate, and it turns out that I've been missing a lot of decisions that are possible. For example, there's a lot of moments when I can just take out my phone and call people or text people when I didn't necessarily think of that. And so there's a lot of stuff that's been going on that I could have gotten, or stuff that I've been going into that maybe I wasn't. Anyways, there's a lot of stuff going on. And so I'm not worrying about. For those of you who don't know about how Steins Gate works, there are certain flags to acquire the true ending, or a few endings at the end of the game. I'm not worrying about those at the moment. For the moment, I am just going to play through and try to go through the entirety of the game, all of the chapters, and then upon getting all the different endings, then I will go through and off-screen, mostly off-screen anyways, try to do the true ending flags. If it does come up with separate content, then I will record that. But otherwise, for the time being, I'm just going to keep going through. But yeah, first thing is that when Rintaro is talking about sending the text and doesn't, I can just pull out the phone and send the text. So, that's what we're going to do. Send. I start up the microwave. The discharge begins immediately. I place my thumb on the send button. Are you sure? Mayuri's voice is choked with tears. Our memories with Suzu-san will disappear. Is it really okay? Memories flash through my head. Being with you guys, even for just a little while, was great. I'm going to finish what you started, Dad. I promise. Well, see you in 35 years. Although I guess it'll only be a few hours for you guys. Change the future. Please. Suzuha, I've made my choice. I won't ask for your forgiveness. Ultimately, I'm doing this to save Mayuri. But at the same time, the words you spoke on that rooftop are still strong in my heart. You entrusted to me your hope for the future. If I am to honor that wish and fulfill mine, then the time we spent together can never have happened. 0.409431. And so, we go on to Chapter 7. Oh boy. The world shatters into geometric shapes that expand and contract like rubber toys. Light gathers between my eyes. Stars explode behind my eyelids. Gradually, color returns to the world. Ugh! I wait for the vertigo to pass. Cold sweat oozes from my temples. Pressing my fists against them, I slowly force the air out of my lungs. Has the world line changed? I head to the lounge in order to check the divergence meter. It's gone. I checked the meter a few minutes ago, just before the world line changed. Now it's nowhere to be found. I quickly realize what has happened. Suzuha gave me the meter after we stopped her from leaving. My D-mail undid those events. Of course the meter isn't here. A surge of regret seizes my heart. I clench my teeth and endure it as best I can. If nobody else remembers, then I alone will keep these memories of Suzuha alive. I look around the room. Mayuri and Kurisu are on the sofa, dozing on each other's shoulders. Daru, oblivious to the vulnerable high school girls behind him, is playing an eroge on his computer. I take a deep breath and turn on the TV. I flip to a news channel. The world line should have changed. I erase the time we spent with Suzuha. That should have allowed her to leap to 1975 without losing her memories, and the IBN 5100 should be in our hands now. We can use it to hack into CERN and erase the data they intercepted from us. Without that information, Moika's men won't attack the lab. Mayuri won't have to die. That's how it should be. That's how it has to be. Otherwise, why did I sacrifice Suzuha's dream? The quickest way to confirm the change would be to check for any delays at Akihabara Station. Daru, is the Yamanote line stopped?
Huh? I don't think so.
Check online.
Wait, I'm at the best part.
Please. Daru sighs and calls up train information.
Doesn't look stopped.
Thanks. The world line has changed, which means that our IBN 5100 should be in the development room. I head back there to search for it. But contrary to my expectations, I can't find it anywhere. What's going on? I look at my watch. It's 7:43 p.m. Moeka's men attack at... what time again? My heart is pounding like a drum. That D-mail was supposed to fix everything. The trains are moving as scheduled, which means that Moeka's men aren't about to attack. So why does it feel like nothing's fixed at all? The IBN 5100's absence is extremely disturbing. I want to sit down and think about where it could have gone, but a voice in my head is screaming that there's no time. I need to calm down. It's hard to think straight after everything that's happened. I check my watch again, 7:46 p.m. Images from the assault flash through my mind. Mayuri bleeding to death on the floor. The smell of gunpowder in the air. I frantically shake the vision out of my head. I look towards the lab entrance. The door has yet to be kicked in by a team of hitmen. I swallow hard, petrified with terror. Please, don't let anything happen. It's past 9. I peek at the street through the window. Nobody's there.
Are you waiting for someone? You keep looking out the window.
Daru's right. I've probably looked out the window 20 times in the past hour. And not a suspicious figure in sight. Moeka's men still haven't appeared. The raid was before 8, if I remember correctly. I think it's safe to say that my changes to the past have prevented it from occurring. Suzuha's sacrifice was not in vain. I let out a deep breath. I'm sweaty and disgusting. It's like my anxiety has pushed all the sweat out of my body. Mayuri, Kurisu. The two girls woke up from their nap about half an hour ago. Now they're eating cup noodles. Wait, did you just say my name correctly? Kurisu looks at me in astonishment, like she can't believe her ears. When you're done eating, go home. It's late, so I'll go with you. Okie dokie! I don't need an escort from you. I can get back by myself. Just listen. Daru, you too.
Huh? Me too?
The train lines running through Akihabara are operating normally. There's no bomb scare and no sign of Moeka or her men. Kurisu is taking the Sobu line to the next station, Ochanomizu, while Daru is going the opposite way to Koiwa? Good God, I'm trying! Mayuri and I are taking the Yamanote line to Ikebukuro, so we part at the station's ticket gate. There are surprisingly few passengers in the trains. I guess most of the salarymen are off for the Obon holiday. Mayuri is playing a handheld game, the Rainet Kakeru action RPG. On the screen, her character is battling a gigantic Upa. I stand beside her and gaze at her profile, lost in thought. It's the night of the 13th, and Mayuri's still alive. How many times have I watched her die? How many times have I tasted that despair? No matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't save this ditzy childhood friend of mine from death. She died again and again, right before my eyes. But now, she's alive. Standing beside me, playing a game. This is why I sacrificed our memories with Suzuha. It was the only way. I'm sorry, Suzuha. And thank you. Suzuha no longer exists in this time, but I hope my feelings will reach her all the same. Actually, come to think of it, why can't I tell her in person? Where in Akiba could the 54-year-old Suzuha be? I'll try asking Tenoji tomorrow. He probably knows Suzuha on this world line too. I wonder if Suzuha remembers me. Hey, Okarin! Mayuri suddenly lifts her head. She looks at me hesitantly. Her cheeks are slightly pink. What? Come on, Okarin. Mayushi gets nervous when you stare at her like that. Did I make you get a game over? Yeah. Sorry about that. I apologize, but keep looking at her. Instead of starting a new game, Mayuri looks at me with concern.
There's something different about you today, Ocarine.
Really?
Yeah, what's wrong?
I remind myself that Mayuri is more perceptive than she seems. She proved that when she figured out that Daru was Suzuha's father. I don't want to worry her too much. I want Mayuri to smile her usual dissy smile without a care in the world. After all, it's over now. She's safe. Nothing's wrong. And I wasn't looking at you just now. I was devising new ways to bring chaos to the world.
Really? You seem kind of tired.
A mad scientist is never tired. The mighty gray cells of my 170 IQ brain are always performing calculations, day and night.
Oh, but you should still take a break every now and then. Please, Ocarine, for me?
Having said that, Mayuri returns to her game. I feel cold stares all around me, but I don't care at all. Mayuri is here with me, doing everyday Mayuri things. Ordinary things. Everything is going back to normal. Yesterday was my first time home in a while, so I slept like a log in my comfortable bed. It could be because of my mental exhaustion, but that was my best night's sleep in a while. Before heading up to the lab, I stop and stare at the brown tube workshop. The familiar mountain bike is gone. Suzuha liked it so much she insisted on bringing it with her to 1975. The workshop door opens and out comes Mr. Brown, rubbing his eyes sleepily.
Okabe, you've got free time. How about a job? As a special offer, I'll hire you for 1 CRT a month.
1 CRT a month? So for 1 month's work, I get an old television? Hell no. When did Suzuha quit again?
Suzuha? Who the hell's that?
What? Was her existence erased completely? That's impossible.
I ain't got time to remember the name of some lazy part-timer who quit after just 10 days.
Damn you and your misleading words. So Suzuha did work here. That fact, the evidence of Suzuha's sojourn into 2010, still remains on this world line.
And I thought I finally had some help for a change. That's what I hate about you damn kids. No dedication. I bet she lied about liking CRTs too. Got me good.
Tenoji shrugs his shoulders, annoyed. Naturally, he doesn't know about Suzuha's true identity. Does the name Hashida Suzu ring a bell? At this, Tenoji's eyes go wide.
Haven't heard that name in a long time. You knew her?
Knew her? So now, she's...
It's been 10 years already, huh?
10 years? 10 years since what? No. I don't want to know the answer. Tenoji has a faraway look in his eyes, as if he's gazing into the past.
She really helped me out.
Why are you talking about her in past tense?
She didn't have any relatives, not that I knew of. I wish I could have been with her at the end.
At the end? There's only one thing that can mean. Even though the world line changed, Suzuha didn't survive to the year 2010.
To tell you the truth, though, she looked peaceful when I found her.
Peaceful? She didn't commit suicide?
Suicide? Who the hell told you that? Suzuha-san was sick. Don't believe any old thing you hear.
She was sick. Sickness killed her? I shouldn't feel good about that. But I guess you could say it's better than what happened before the world line changed. That's what I tell myself anyway.
So how did you know? Yeah, good gracious. So how'd you know Suzuha-san?
She helped me out too, a long time ago. I was hoping to see her again.
Yeah? I'm living in her old house now. Want to come pay your respects at the altar?
I nod without a moment's hesitation. Tenoji closes up shop, and we head off towards his house. From Chiodori, we head towards the station. I scan the Akiba scenery as we walk. Moe stores are still nowhere to be found on this world line. After a little hesitation, I look up at Radican. It's gone. The satellite has vanished. All that's left is the hole it made when it arrived in this time. When did the satellite disappear?
About 5 days ago? You never know what's gonna happen, huh?
Which means Suzuha left before it rained. Like Tanoji said, his house is closer than expected. We take the train to the next station. Oh my god. Okachimachi, and then walk Okachimachi, and then walk for about 5 minutes to a quiet residential area. This old one-story house is where Suzuha once lived. I walk up to the front of the house, and there I see a familiar sight. Suzuha's bicycle. For a moment, I can see her there, squatting beside the bicycle. But the mountain bike Suzuha rode to the brown tube workshop was shiny and new. Now it's old and covered in rust.
Suzu-san loved that old thing. Even when she couldn't ride it anymore, she'd still polish it every week. It's been sitting there for 10 years. Couldn't throw it away. I've maintained it best I could, but I guess nothing lasts forever.
I gently put my hand on the seat. It's warm from sitting out in the sun. I suppose that, for the few days Suzuha was in Akiba, this bicycle existed in two places at the same time. The house isn't as messy inside as I expected, considering the state of the brown tube workshop. I guess that chipmunk keeps the place clean. A wave of nausea hits me as I recall what Nai did at Ochanomizu Station. But I tell myself that was just an accident. Besides, that incident has already been undone. Tanoji Nai has done nothing wrong. Next to the living room is a child's room. There's a child's study desk and a red backpack on the floor. Nai isn't here. Which reminds me, Tanoji's daughter visits the workshop often, but not once have I seen his wife. He couldn't have married Suzuha, could he? I mean, she should have been a lot older than him when they met. But as they say, love knows no bounds. I wonder what really happened. I don't know how I'd feel if those two were married. That would make Daru Tanoji's father-in-law. Actually, that would be kind of interesting. I turn to the Buddhist altar to pay my respects to Suzuha. There's no picture of her, so there's no way to know what Hashida Suzu looked like at the age of 44. I make an offering of incense to her, then look around the house again. This is the house Suzuha lived in after leaping to 1975.
When Suzu-san and I first met, we were neighbors.
For some reason, Tanoji offers me a beer. When I decline, he shakes his head and starts drinking it himself.
I was born and raised in Europe, you know.
Huh? Is that a joke?
Got a problem? I'll have you know my English and French are perfect.
He really doesn't look like someone who lived abroad. I guess you can't judge a book by its cover.
My parents died about 15 years ago. That's when I came back to Japan. Or I guess I should say I came to Japan for the first time. Suzu-san was living alone next door. She looked after me when I had nowhere else to turn.
Alright, now's my chance. If I'm gonna ask, it's now or never. And you got married?
Huh? Married?
To Suzu-san.
You high?
Phew. I knew she'd never marry a guy like him.
She was a pretty stoic lady. Didn't have much of a social life. But she treated me well. My house burned down about 1 year after I moved here. It was my smoking that caused the fire, so I deserved it, but still. After I had lost everything, she let me come live here with her. That's not all. The Ohiyama building where the workshop's at, that was originally Suzu-san's property.
Eh?
She sold it to me for cheap. It's thanks to her the brown tube workshop exists. You could say she saved my life. Once, I asked her why she treated me so well. It wasn't like we were related or anything. But she just smiled and said, "We all depend on someone's kindness at some point in our lives. When the time comes, you pass the gift along." She was kind of mysterious. She seemed to know exactly how things were going to happen, like a prophet.
Suzuha. That was probably her way of repaying Tanoji for looking after her, even if it was just for 10 days. And so it came full circle.
It's a small world, huh? Never thought I'd meet someone else who knew her. Alright, wait here a sec.
Tanoji goes into the child's room next door, then returns and places an object on the table. Ah! 0.409431.
It's Suzuha's divergence meter. Before the world line changed, it was in the lab. But on this world line, Suzuha brought the meter with her to 1975. It's been in this house for 35 years. The tubes read 0.409431%. Divergence has changed, just like Suzuha said. This proves that my magic eye, reading Steiner, does indeed allow me to perceive changes to the world line. But what does 0.409431% mean? I recall what Suzuha said. When the meter reads over 1%, you've made it to the beta world line. Does that mean I'm still on the alpha world line? Do you know what that number means? Because I sure don't. All I know is that it hasn't changed a bit these 10 years. Well, you know, when Suzu-san was on her deathbed, she used to stare at that meter for hours. Eh? She used to stare at that meter, talking to herself. Is this the old number? The new number? Did it work? Did it change? Stuff like that, day in and day out. It hurt to watch. I touched the device. Suzuha. In my heart, I reach out to the girl who died 10 years ago. To the girl who will be born 7 years from now. To the girl who crossed time to save the future. Suzuha. Thanks to you, Mayuri is safe. Divergence has changed. But we haven't yet reached your ultimate goal. 1% divergence. Once that is achieved, the future you dreamed of will become a reality. I will carry on your fight, Suzuha. I promise. I realize that I am crying. Tanoji stares at me for a moment, then puts his giant hand on my shoulder.
Okain!
Mayuri comes out of the ticket gate and walks up to me with an unhurried stride.
Do-do-do! I didn't think you'd come all the way to the station to pick me up. Mayushi's surprised.
I wouldn't want my hostage to get away.
Yeah, me neither. So Mayushi's really happy.
I don't quite understand, but whatever. Mayuri flashes a carefree smile, then walks ahead of me, almost skipping.
So what's in the bag?
Mr. Brown gave it to me. It's a device that can measure the divergence of world lines.
Wow, that sounds amazing. What's a world line?
I smile wryly. Mayuri, you really are a dummy. What am I doing? After I left Tanoji's house, I called Mayuri to ask when she would arrive in Akiba. Then I went to the station to pick her up. Anxiety still smolders in my heart. We managed to survive yesterday, but that doesn't guarantee our safety forever. It's entirely possible for Mooka to attack now, on the afternoon of the 14th. Maybe I'm being overprotective, but I still can't shake the image of Mayuri's death from my mind. I don't ever want to have to go through that again. Just a thought, Mayuri. But don't you think maybe you should stop coming to Akiba for a while? At least until Komima ends. No response. I look to the side. Mayuri? Panicked, I scan the area and catch sight of her wandering towards a newly opened shaved ice stand. That ditz. Can't she tell how worried I am?
So you're the devoted type, huh?
Kursu was glaring at me with a nice coffee in her hand. We're in the lab, which appears to have become her second home. What's that supposed to mean? I'm sitting at the computer, searching for intel on the IBM 5100. I still don't know where it is. I went to Yanabayashi Shrine this morning, but alas, it wasn't there. Suzuha promised to get one to us somehow, her gift to us from 1975. Without it, we can't hack into CERN's database, meaning we can't achieve divergence over 1%.
All of a sudden, you're treating Mayuri like a princess. Today you went to the station to meet her, you taste tested her lunch, and then you held her hand all the way back to the lab. Okarin really loves Mayushi!
Did she have to tell Kursu of all people? Mayuri looks so carefree as she stuffs her cheeks with takoyaki. I'm pretty sure she's smiling not because of my love, but because of the takoyaki's deliciousness. Typical Mayuri. But seriously, did you have to tell Kursu?
So what's the deal?
I don't follow.
Are you a couple or what? I've been meaning to ask.
Do we look like a couple?
Huh? Oh, well,
Just what sort of delusions does this girl have?
You know, Ogre and Mayushi have been friends since they were little.
Oh my good. Mwauhi's
really Huawei now.
Huawei? I am having difficulty reading this. Anyways. Don't talk with your mouth full.
So, you're not a couple. Oh well, of course. No one would willingly date Okabe after all.
You disappoint me, Christina.
Huh? What are you talking about?
You have finally revealed your true nature. I saw how your eyes lit up at the first hint of romance. You're nothing but a filthy mainstream girl. I bet you like to eat chocolate with your girlfriends and giggle about the latest celebrity love affair. Absurd! This lab has no need of the puppies and flowers in your head. It feels strange to be spewing this Chunibyo nonsense again, after what I've been through. Is my innocence lost forever?
What the hell are you on about, you self-proclaimed mad scientist Chunibyo nutcase?
It's been a long time since I argued with Kurisu like this, too. The thought brings a sudden pang of loneliness. After failing to save Mayuri, I sought help from this genius girl. Even though her words were at the time harsh, she supported and encouraged me to the end. But now, all of that has vanished, along with the time we spent with Suzuha. Thank you for your help, Kurisu. I silently give her my sincere gratitude. I finish typing on the X68000's keyboard and sigh, then turn to the divergence meter setting on the shelf. The display reads 0.409431%. What does that mean?
The universe is like this piece of yarn. Countless possible world lines exist side by side, branching out to infinity. When the meter reads over 1%, you've made it to the beta world line. If you escape the alpha attractor field and reach the beta world line, then the result will change. Reach 1% divergence, and you'll save Shina Mayuri.
Then, does that mean I haven't saved her? Divergence is still less than 1%. Is the world still converging on Mayuri's death? It can't be. It can't be. I mean, nothing happened yesterday. Mayuri's here, safe and sound. So nothing will happen to her. It won't. I want to believe that, but the doubt within my heart is growing, thick and black. I can hardly think about anything else now. No matter how hard I stare at it, the number on the meter doesn't change a digit. So far, reading Steiner has only activated after we sent past changing emails. What about when I time leap? The vertigo I feel when I time leap might be caused by reading Steiner. Or maybe it's just a side effect of the memory transfer. It's impossible to know. In any case, I've prepared for the worst. I've already set the time leap machine's timer to send my memories 3 hours into the past. And with Daru's help, I found a remote for the 42-inch CRT downstairs. Our previous phone wavelengths to change experiments made a hole in the floor. Instead of fixing the hole, I made it bigger. The 42-inch CRT is right under the hole, so if I point the remote at the hole and press the power button, the TV turns on. Now, should things go wrong, I can time leap at a moment's notice. And I also have future gadget number 4, Mode Snake, on hand, in case of emergency.
Okabe.
Kurisu enters the development room.
Didn't you say we weren't going to experiment with the time leap machine?
This is just in case.
In case what?
I don't want to answer that. I keep praying that my fears will not be realized. It's okay. Everything will be okay. They didn't attack yesterday, so they won't attack today. At the very least, we've changed Mayuri's fate. But still, I can't help but pray. Please let Mayuri be safe. Please don't let anything happen. My prayers go unanswered. The door slams open. 5 men burst into the lab. I recognize them, the Rounders. They aim their guns at us. I freeze. Despair seizes my heart. My worst fears have come true. It's happening exactly the same as before. Only this time Suzuha isn't here to save us. Hands in the air! Nobody move! Even the dark-skinned man's words are the same. Eventually, the unpleasant clack of heels echoes down the hallway.
Tomoka-san? We're taking the time machine.
I suppress my terror and grab Mayuri's arm. Don't move! The crew cut man says something he hasn't before.
Makise Kurisu, Okabe Rinjiro, Hashida Itaru. The three of you will come with us. You cannot resist. Come with us. You have nowhere to run. We have men stationed throughout Akihabara.
What do I do? Should I use my concealed mode snake right now? Use it and then time leap? But Mayuri hasn't been killed yet. There's a chance she might not be killed on this world line. Hey, you! The crew cut man points his gun at me. My heartbeat jumps up. Cold sweat breaks out all over my body. I said hands in the air. I've only raised my left. What are you hiding? I have to use it. I swallow my fear and activate Mode Snake. White smoke instantly fills the room, rendering it impossible to see. The rounders won't be able to aim through this. I have to time leap while it lasts. I grab Mayuri's hand and fumble through the smoke towards the development room. Shoot them! I hear the sound of guns firing wildly behind me. Ah! Suddenly, Mayuri's arm gets heavy. I trip forward and land on my face. Maya! Our hands were separated in the fall. I grope around and soon find her slender hand. Oh, Kari! Mayuri's feeble whisper reaches my ears. Was she hit? The pounder's blind shot hit Mayuri? It hurts. Mayuri's voice quickly fades away. Strength drains from her fingers. Mayuri! Come on, get up! But Mayuri doesn't answer. I'm sorry, Mayuri. Once again, I failed to save you. I thought I'd succeeded, but I was wrong. I hear my teeth grinding in my head. Stop! Stop! Don't shoot me! I hear Kurisu and Daru screaming as the gunfire continues. Ugh! A sharp pain flares at the top of my head. I press down with my hand. It comes away soaked with blood. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts! It feels like someone took a saw to my skull. My ears are ringing. I stumble. I can't stand up straight. I need to get to the time leap machine. I squeeze Mayuri's limp hand one last time, then crawl to the development room, fumble for the headgear, and put it on. I point the remote at the hole and press the power button. The TV turns on downstairs. I can hear people laughing on the screen. Target A, Target C secured. Run, Okabe, run! Shit! I clench my fists in frustration. The time leap machine is already activated. The discharge phenomenon is starting. The floor begins to shake. Once again, I leap to the past. Ah! The world collapses, then reforms. Once again, I feel that odd numbness behind my eyes. The pain at the top of my head is gone. I wipe the sweat off my brow and look around. I can't see Mode Snake's vapor anymore. The air is clear. Kurisu is reading a Western book like usual. Mayuri is playing a handheld game while eating a banana. Daru isn't here. I recalled he said he was going out somewhere. I quickly swallow my words. Okarin, you want a banana too? When I wave my hand no, Mayuri tilts her head quizzically, then goes back to her game. I sink into the sofa and close my eyes. Somehow, I resist the urge to scream in frustration. I have to think. I erased our memories with Suzuha. I changed the world line, but it wasn't enough. The divergence meter still reads 0.4%. How do I get that above 1%? Wait, if I try to solve the problem alone, it'll just end the same way. I need to consult Kurisu. Kurisu, come with me a second. I lead her out of the lab. We sit on the bench in front of the building. Suzuha's bicycle is still absent.
What is it? You don't normally say my name normally.
Kurisu frowns at her own words.
That came out weird.
Please, help me.
Now this is a shock. I never thought I'd hear those words from you. Do you have a fever?
No jokes. I seriously need your help.
You time leap, didn't you?
I nod. How much do you know? Okay, let's see who this is. Mayuri. Wait, is this? Yeah, okay. Mayuri.
Ocarine, where are you going? A date with Christian? I'm jealous.
Ooh. Okay, date. Our relationship is purely professional. She's my assistant, nothing more. Jealous? You want to go on a date with me? Oh god, I don't like either of these very much. This one's just like, no. Just shut down, and this one's like, kind of taunting? Oh, well. Maybe this one's could be kind of just like, it could lead to interesting dialogue. Oh god, I guess I'll go with this one. Well, doesn't feel good. Okay, and then back. Whoop.
How much do I know about what?
How about Suzuha being John Teeter?
Eh?
Kurisu gives me a blank stare.
It never even occurred to me.
When we prevented Suzuha from leaving on August 9th, she ended up staying until August 13th. But that outcome was changed by my last email. What happened during those 4 days on this world line? Have you finished the time leak machine?
What are you talking about? I finished it yesterday after an all-nighter, remember? When did you leap from?
8 p.m. tonight. It looks like I'll have to explain everything all over again. Oh, I got more mail. Oh boy. Whomst. Mayuri.
I want to go on a date. Would you rather go to Sunbow or Kitchenjiro?
Oh, okay. Just straight up. I told her about Mayuri's many deaths, and about what happened with Suzuha and Moeka. I also gave a summary of what Suzuha told me about the structure of the universe. Kurisu does not appear to doubt my story.
So basically, you win if you get the IBN 5100 back.
Kurisu sums up what I told her.
This is just a guess. But maybe you should look at what Amane-san said from the opposite angle. I think the critical change takes place when you get the IBN 5100 and erase the data in CERN's database. That instant is most likely when you'll achieve divergence over 1%.
The problem is where the IBN 5100 is now.
You've already found it once. That is, if your memories are real. If you can get back to the world line where you first obtained it, then isn't it bound to return to you?
I see. You're right. The IBN 5100 was at the lab, and then it suddenly disappeared.
You threw a fit about that earlier. I remember thinking, oh god, Okabe's finally lost his ability to distinguish fantasy from reality.
You're such a wannabe American. What do you mean, oh god? Oh, I get it. Christian is a Christian. Kurisu looks at me in disdain as soon as those words leave my lips.
That's terrible.
I regret it too. This is no time for puns. So, Christina, let me see if I understand what you're saying. The changes we made to the world line, namely all of the D-mails we've sent, must be reversed. That will return us to the world line where I found the IBN 5100 at Yanabayashi Shrine. From what I've experienced so far, I'm confident that the IBN 5100's disappearance from the lab wasn't due to theft. After all, I was sleeping at the lab, and whenever I wasn't around, another lab mem was. The lab was occupied every hour of the day. It would have been impossible for someone to steal that heavy computer without anyone noticing. It makes more sense to assume that a D-mail caused us to diverge from the world line where I found the IBN 5100 at Yanabayashi Shrine.
It's still a hypothesis. I only came to that conclusion based on your explanation. If If you're mistaking your facts, deceiving me, or shooting off delusions, then this hypothesis will fail.
This assistant of mine has no confidence in me at all.
You can't just blindly follow this hypothesis either. You may have a safety net, but if you get careless and leave yourself without a way out, then you'll never get another chance to save Mayuri.
I know that. I'd ask for Suzuha's opinion too, if she were here. But on this world line she traveled to 1975 on the night of August 9th. There's no way I can speak to her now.
Why did the IBN 5100 disappear? Which of the D-mails caused its disappearance? Figure that out, and you're well on your way to finding the solution.
What I don't understand is how we delayed the timing of Mayuri's death exactly 24 hours.
True, that is interesting. Maybe it's related to the change in divergence. It could be the butterfly effect. If that's the case, any trivial change could produce a significantly deviant result. Anyway, it's important to act with discretion. Don't do anything careless. Your death, Okabe, is the worst thing that could possibly happen. You're probably the only person who can remember previous world lines. If you die, then consider Mayuri dead for good. Don't die, okay?
You're not worried about me, are you?
What? Don't be ridiculous. Why should I care? I'm not worried about you, okay? Don't get the wrong idea. I just don't want to lose a valuable test subject, that's all. Yeah. That brain of yours has accumulated memories spanning world lines and time leaps. It's a precious sample that can rewrite the history of neuroscience. I want to map your brain and find out just what's going on in there. In other words, your time leaping helps me too. After all, the time leap machine is the fruit of my research, so to speak, and I...
Calm down. Kurisu turns away with a sour expression. This assistant of mine can be difficult sometimes. Anyway, I consider her hypothesis. In order to return to the world line where I found the IBN 5100 at Yanabayashi Shrine, we need to cancel all the D-mails we sent so far. The theory is sound, and I've got nothing else to go on. I checked the clock. It's 6:42 p.m. Only 1 hour until Moeka's raid. I decide to time leap once more to the afternoon of the 13th, just before the time leap machine is completed. Christina, I'm going to give this plan of yours a shot.
Oh, great.
I take Kurisu's hand and grasp it firmly. You've been a great help. Sorry for the trouble.
Don't apologize, dummy. It's confusing. And besides, I don't even remember helping you before. How are you going to take responsibility for this?
Why is she getting mad at me? I just don't understand her.
I wish I could remember too. Then I'd always have something to rub your nose in.
You really have an awful personality.
You're the one to talk.
With that, I leap 28 hours into the past. And I think that that is a pretty good place to cut it. We have continued on into Chapter 7, and we have devised a way that we might be able to actually get the IBN 5100 that Suzuha worked so hard to get us in the first place. And I'm really excited to see where we go from here. So, hopefully I will be able to keep track a little bit better of where endings are and why endings are and what I am doing with everything going on. But maybe not. Who knows? But anyways, thank you all so much for following my playthrough of Steins Gate, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye now.